Welcome to this Angular Data Grid component tutorial. In this video, I will show you how to enable filtering, handle diacritic characters, use different filtering types and operators, and add a custom component for filtering in the Syncfusion Angular Data Grid. First, I'll open my existing Angular application, where I have already added the basic code to render the Data Grid component. If you want to learn how to get started with Angular Data Grid, check out the video linked in the card or description. I run the application using the ngserve command. As you can see, the Data Grid component renders. Now, I will show you how to enable the filtering option. First, I import the filter service from the grid package and inject it into the provider's array. In the app HTML file, I set the allow filtering property to true to enable filtering. See? The default filter bar is enabled in the grid, and the values of any column can be filtered with it. Here, some customer IDs contain diacritic characters. By default, when filtering, the grid does not recognize characters. So even though the text looks similar, matching rows will not appear in the results. To resolve this, I enable the ignoreAccent property. First, in the app TS file, I import the filter settings model from the Syncfusion grid package. In the export class, I define the public variable filter options for the type filter settings model. In the ngOnInit method, I assign filter options with ignoreAccent by setting it to true. In app HTML file, I bind the filter settings property to filter options. As you can see, words are filtered correctly even with diacritic characters. You can also apply filter conditions during the initial load using filter operators. This is the list of built-in operators supported by DataGrid. The operator starts with, ends with, and contains can be applied to grid columns of type string. The operators equal and not equal can be applied to columns of type string, number, Boolean, and date. The operators greater than or equal to, less than, and less than or equal to can be applied to columns of type number and date. In the ngOnInit method, set the column details to add the filter condition. Here I set the condition, specifying the field as customer ID, operator as startsWith, and the value as v. In the output, you can see customer ID column is filtered with the specified startsWith value v. Next, I will show the different types of filtering. By default, the filter bar is displayed in the Data Grid. The Data Grid also supports additional filter types menu, checkbox, and Excel. In the filter options, I set the type to menu. For clarity, I remove the default filter condition. Now the filter type is menu. Based on the type of column, the filter options will be populated automatically in the menu. When I change the type to checkbox, records can be filtered by just clicking the checkboxes. When I change it to Excel, you will see Excel-like filter options. You can filter records using checkboxes and apply operators with specific conditions. You can also apply different filter types for different columns by using the column directive. By default, the columns use menu type filtering. To use a checkbox filter for a freight column, I set the filter property in that column directive and set the type to checkbox. Looking here, the checkbox filter is enabled for that column, while Excel-like filters are enabled for all the other columns. Next, I will show you how to add a custom component to the default filter bar. In Angular Data Grid, users can replace the default text box filter with any custom UI using the filter template property of a column. In this example, I'm going to add a drop-down list to the ship country column to easily select a country instead of typing it manually. To use the drop-down component, I first install the drop-down package using the command npm install at syncfusion/ej2 angular dropdowns -- save. In the app TS file, I import the drop-down list all module from the Syncfusion ej2 dropdowns package. Now, I inject the drop-down list all module in the imports array. Next, I need to import viewchild from the Angular's core library. In the export class, I use Angular's viewchild decorator to obtain a reference to the Syncfusion grid component instance from the templates. In the app HTML file, I add a template reference variable hash grid to the grid component to access the grid instance programmatically from the export class. In the app TS file, I import the grid component from the grids package. I then declare a public variable named grid and set its type to grid component. This allows access to the grid API. I define a dropdown function method and add the code that handles the change event of the dropdown filter. Now I need to define the distinct data for the dropdown list. In the export class, I define a public variable named shipCountry distinct data as an object array. This variable stores distinct values of the shipCountry column, extracted from the original data source. I import the data util from the Syncfusion's EJ2 data package. In the ngOnInit method, to extract distinct values for the shipCountry column from the data source, I use the datautil.distinct method, which returns only the unique shipCountry values from the dataset. To use custom components in the grid, I import the iFilter from the grids package. iFilter lets you replace the default grid filter with your own custom UI, such as a drop-down list, checkbox list, or any other custom editor. In the export class, I declare a public variable named template shipCountry dropdown and set its type to iFilter. Next, I declare a public variable named dropdown and set its type to HTML element. This variable stores a reference to the dropdown HTML element that is created dynamically inside the custom filter template. Then, I create an interface to define the data structure and set the shipCountry field as a string. In the template shipCountry dropdown object, I implement the create method, which dynamically creates a select element that will be used as the filter UI for the shipCountry column. I have also added the all option to clear the applied filter. Then, populate the dropdown with distinct shipCountry values extracted from the data source. Next, I import the dropdown list module from the Syncfusion dropdowns package. Then, I implement the write method, which enhances the HTML select element by initializing the Syncfusion dropdown list component. In app HTML file, for the shipCountry column, I bind the filter bar template property to the template shipCountry dropdown configuration object. In the output, you will see a custom dropdown with all selected by default. When the dropdown is open, it displays a list of distinct values. Selecting a specific shipCountry filters the grid and shows only the required data. In this video, I have shown you how to enable filtering, handle diacritic characters, use different filtering types and operators. Also, I have shown you how to use custom component for filtering in the Syncfusion Angular Data Grid. If you want to try out the example used in this video, download it from the GitHub link in the description below. I have also shared a link to learn how to obtain a free license key to use our Angular components through our community license if you are eligible. Thanks for watching this video. If you find this video helpful, like and subscribe to our channel.